In order to recover properly, you need to become more than just a recovered survivor. And to that aim, you must have a project. A project is something you're working on. It can be a book, it can be an art project, it can be building a table. But it's something you're working on that generally seems worthwhile to you. I won't say that it always excites you because these projects can be work, but it seems worthwhile. It seems like it's worth getting out of bed to work on it. It's worth taking time away from watching television to work on it. It's worth taking time away from social media to work on it. Your project needs to be something that is beneficial to the self and to mankind. You need to have a project, something you are working on that is beneficial to the self and to others. So, what are you writing? You're working on some music? Perfect. A song? Perfect. Some lyrics? Great. A poem? Great. A book? Great. A memoir? Perfect. A biography? Write down some of your experiences. You're a survivor. You have so many amazing experiences to write that are so tragic. But that's where the beauty is. The beauty is in the tragedy and how you've overcome. Being a survivor means that you know the worst of the world and you can show how beauty can grow from the worst places, like a rose out of the dirt. You have so much to offer, and if you're not working on a project right now, you're depriving the world. Further, in order for you to be in a state of mental health, you need to be on the frequency of creativity and exploration. That's mental health. Just thinking that the project is to work on your recovery, that's not the whole picture. The project is about you fulfilling your potential as a human being. Does that make sense? Because as a human being, you have infinite potential. So there's an infinite amount of things that you could potentially do if you had an infinite amount of time to live. But since we have a finite amount of time to live, and thus not a finite amount of time in a year, and in a month, and in a day, then you can only really accomplish so much. So you got to be realistic. So I know there's things to do like picking up the kids and cleaning and doing laundry and all that. But you don't want to spend so much time on the mundane tasks that you're living life in reactionary mode. Because if you're being reactive, then you're not being proactive. And you'll get to a point in life where you'll look back and you'll say, what have I accomplished? What I want you to do now is I want you to answer that question. I want you to look ahead to 2028 and want you to answer that question with what you do now for the next few years. So that when you look back at that time, you say, oh, that's what I accomplished. Because you're going to ask the question. That's an inevitability. You're going to ask the question. You're going to get to that place. And you're going to say, what have I accomplished? I want to vet myself. I just want to make myself feel bad today. You're going to do it. We all do it. We all do it. Not just survivors. Even a healthy person gets to that point. And they're going to say, what have I accomplished? What do I have to show for myself? I want you to answer that question with the way you live your life. So every day, 6 days a week, do something towards your project. You just break it down into smaller steps, right? So if I'm working on a song, then I just work on one line of my song every day. Just, oh, you know what? Before I go to bed, let me try to get one line. Let me get one line. And I work on it. Sometimes I accomplish it. I accomplish my goals. Sometimes I don't. But over time, what happens, songs start getting done. And next thing you know, you got an album. And I'm telling you from experience, I've written multiple albums worth of songs. You can do that. And I did that while working full-time, taking care of a family, volunteering, coaching, teaching, doing pastoral counseling. Like, I was always juggling multiple things. You can do multiple things. It's just one line a day. That's all. You don't need to be, oh, now I'm writing a book. That's all I do. No, it's not all that. Break it down into small steps. Open up a little Google Docs document, chapter 1. Once upon a time, write a couple lines, go to bed, go do something else, be balanced. Have your relationship, spend time with your spouse, right? But have a project. You must have a project that you're working on. Something that's going to benefit the self and mankind. Maybe it's going to benefit the self by making money. That's fine. That's beneficial. Maybe it's going to benefit the self by fulfilling a dream of yours. Set your expectations realistic, but not so low that it's just depressing, and not so high that it's unattainable. Do not try to make your project perfect. This is not another opportunity for disordered perfectionism. This is an opportunity for the opposite. It's an opportunity to get something done that's yours, that you created, because you're made to be a creative being. I know, even if you're logical, mathematical, great. You're made to be a creative being. Look at the world we live in. Math is everywhere, but it's a part of creation. Math is in the Fibonacci sequence that you see in the way that a tulip blossoms, right? Math is everywhere, but it's a mark of creation. Be creative. Have a project that you're working on. So put those mathematical skills to your inventing, your engineering, your architecture, or your computer programming. Do something, but be creative, because some of the most logical people have created some of the most amazing creations that run our everyday lives. So you need to create something for this world too. And it doesn't need to be as huge as Facebook. It just needs to be something. Something that will be there in your obituary. Something people will talk about at your funeral. Something that you can be proud of in 2028. So let's get working on a project. One line a day.